Good morning, Mr. Torres. Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated, second offense. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. You have worked out an agreement where they're offering you 50 days in jail with credit for the 2 days that you've done. You need to understand that this charge is going to go on your record. It's going to be there for the rest of your life. It's even there after you die. This is important because if you ever get pulled over again and you smell like alcohol, you smell like dope, what's going to happen?
Penitentiary.
Up to 10 years.
Oh, it stays on your record, even after you die. That's not just dramatic flares, dead serious. A DWI second offense doesn't just vanish. This is the court's way of saying, make one more mistake and you're facing serious time up to 10 years.
Cops don't care if you're falling down stupid-ass drunk. You don't have to be like that. Just the faintest smell of alcohol, you get pulled over, an officer's gonna run your license, they're gonna say, DWI, DWI. Well, he's probably DWI again. Put him in. 2 to 10 in the penitentiary next time. If I were you, even if you've had a sip of alcohol, I wouldn't get into a car. It is a huge risk. Not to mention, how much money have you paid for all this? You know what I mean?
That $40 doesn't sound so bad anymore, does it?
$40. Uber will take you anywhere you want to go. Don't matter where you want to go. $40. Use it. You have the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, it will go on your record. You can never get off. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I didn't plead to the offense, guilty or not guilty.
Yes.
I'm going to find you guilty. I have to suspend your license. I will suspend it for a year. Do not drive until you get a license. Now, when did he want to report for the jail time?
The 24th, Your Honor, 2 weeks from today.
Okay. You must report by 6 p.m. on that day. If you fail to report, I will issue a warrant for arrest. And then you're looking at up to a year in jail. Do you understand? So to report by 3/24 at 6 p.m.
And Your Honor, I don't know if I don't want to interrupt you, but just regarding court costs, if you would consider running them concurrently. I was retained, but Mr. Torres is I believe he's indigent. He's on SSI. He's on disability. And he also uses Medicare for his insurance. He's not working because he has a.
You know, in life, we are allowed to make mistakes, right? But when you continue to make mistakes where you endanger other people's lives, everything gets just so much worse. You know, I routinely, when I have a DWI first, I routinely run court costs because there's also a surcharge on your license of $3,000, perhaps $4,500 if you have a high breath test. It's a $6,000 surcharge on the DWI second. Why would I continue to reward you? What do you do for a living, sir?
I'm not there, home.
You don't work?
No, sir.
What's the nature of your disability?
From the car accident.
It's a broken.
Because of your car accident in this case?
No, previous one.
Previous.
He had one in 2011, Your Honor.
And now we're here on a DWI second? Was it due to another DWI?
Yes, Your Honor.
When do we learn? When do we learn? What, is it gonna take a death? Lose a foot? What happened in the accident?
I had to be life-flighted.
Holy crap.
Let's pause. This man survived a car crash, and now he's back in court for another DWI. The judge isn't just handing down sentences, giving wake-up calls the stakes, life, limb, and public safety asterisk.
Are you lucky to be alive?
Sir.
And here we are yet on a DWI, a new DWI. I'm suspending your license for 2 years. I don't want you anywhere near a car. Don't drive. You scare me when you get into a car. You're lucky to be alive. Much less, what about the rest of our, what? You know, my family's on the road all the time. I had a good friend a year ago die from a DWI. What? The reason that we have all these surcharges are because sometimes jail is not enough to get your attention. So now the legislature has made it to where somehow we got to get these people's attention. So let's just start hitting them where it really hurts, and that's in the pocketbook. This is a $6,000 surcharge, not to mention court costs, $6,500 that you'd be rolling out of here with. What do you think? They want me to roll the court costs. I will make you a deal. I want to see something proactive because I'm not sentencing him yet, and I can continue to sentence until the 24th of this month. Show me some proactivity so that we know it's not going to happen again, and I'm happy to roll the court costs. But I want to see something proactive from you so we know that you've learned something. Don't write me a letter. I get enough letters. I don't need a letter. I want something really proactive on your part that shows me that it's not going to happen again. We're not going to see that you've learned something from this. And if you can be proactive, show me something, then I'll waive your $6,500 in fines and fees. And this is important because if you don't pay it, every $100 you owe, you will sit 1 day in jail.
Knock my Aunt Connie's socks off. That's judge speak for. Prove you've changed or you'll be paying your fines day by day. Literally. This is your moment to do more than write a letter actions. Speak louder in court. Asterisk.
So you can imagine how long you will sit on a $6,500 surcharge. You have 2 weeks to really knock my Aunt Connie's socks off. Do you understand? Okay.
Okay.
All right. We got 2 weeks. Yep.
Yes,
Okay.
for one person.
All right. So, Mr. Lince, you have opened 3 total cases. You've got right?
Correct, Your Honor. Terroristic and trespass cases. One of the trespass cases.
The trespass, 268 is being.
Okay, so this one, right, 6 for 12, that was being dismissed. And the terroristic threat. So where are both of these trespasses from? Do you know?
It's his father's house, Your Honor, where he used to reside.
Okay. Both trespasses are from there?
Yes, Your Honor.
Don't go back.
Yes, sir.
You know what's going to happen if you go back, right?
I do know. Yes, sir.
At least call first.
Yes,
You
sir.
know,
Yes, sir.
because a phone call can go a long way to see if they want to maybe invite you over. That's a big difference than just popping in, because you pop in, it's probably just not going to go well, right?
Very well.
Right. We're not asking much. So you have a total of 3 open cases. You've got 2 criminal trespasses. You've got a terroristic threat. The agreement that you've worked out is they're going to dismiss one of the trespasses. You're pleading on the terroristic threat, and then on the trespass. On the terroristic threat, you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. You're facing up to 6 months and or a $2,000 on the criminal trespass. It's 48 days in jail with credit for the 16 on the terroristic threat, and then 6 days with 12 days credit on the trespass. So it looks like you're walking out. But like I said, the other thing you need to consider is this, is you're pleading guilty to a terroristic threat. If you continue with the same course of conduct within a certain period of time, it's very possible they hit you with a felony charge. So I would be very careful what you do, who you talk to, especially on this terroristic threat, because it could land you years instead of days. You understand?
Yes, sir.
So you're giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeals. Once you plead guilty, they will go on your record. You can never take it off. And from now on, you're facing a minimum of 90 days in jail for any new cases that you pick up. You understand?
Yes, sir.
You still want to do this?
Yes, sir.
How do you, hold on a second. Is there an affirmative finding on the terroristic threat?
I didn't see one.
No,
You
Your Honor.
know?
No, there's nothing on the
No, I don't
report.
believe there should be, Your Honor.
That's important if there is.
Now, this is critical leaf. That threat had been against a family member, it would trigger a whole new set of felony-level consequences, including a lifetime ban on owning a firearm. One detail changes the entire legal landscape.
My understanding was based off of
Yeah, but it's whether it's who's the person. Is it a family member?
There wasn't one on there. It was just.
Conversation between, it was a,
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Don't.
Or I don't see an affirmative file.
They didn't file it. Okay, that's important because you lose the right to have a gun and you face a third-degree felony when those are alleged. So that's why it's important. All right. How do you plead to both of those cases? Guilty or not guilty?
guilty, Your Honor.
I'm going to find you guilty. I will sentence you to the agreement. Good luck to you, Mr. Wentz.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. You are the reliable.
How's jail?
Not too pleasing, not too pleasant.
It's supposed to be like that. Right. Here's
Yes.
the problem. Your lawyer wants me to give you a PR bond, but you picked up a theft case. You're supposed to come to court. You didn't come to court. You took off on us. We issued you a warrant. We issued a warrant. The only reason we have you now is because you picked up another theft case. So why? Why would we continue to do the same thing?
I attempted to come to court, but you see, there's no
So-
buses coming out of Kingwood, and I was taking care of my grandmother in Kingwood. So I tried. We tried to get Uber money and everything, but I couldn't make it. And I called in, and
We don't have any record. The only reason we have you now is you picked up a new theft case. What happened on the theft case, Alex?
So on the most recent theft case on March 6, 2025, the officer was dispatched to a shoplifting call at a Walmart. The officer made contact with asset protection, who stated that he recognized the defendant from a previous encounter and observed the defendant grab multiple items and attempt to leave the store, passing all points of sale without attempting to pay. The defendant stated he is owed a Purple Heart Veterans discount. Therefore, the amount stolen should be less than listed due to the father's military service. The defendant stated he was trying to find his ID that he dropped outside the Walmart, and that is why he passed all points of sale and attempted to leave the exit. And the defendant further stated that the warrant should be invalidated due to him not stealing on the prior theft as well. The total was $283.62.
it's all not how it went.
No comments on the facts of this case, sir.
Okay.
Was he ordered in the first theft case not to go back to the... So they're both at Walmart, right?
I just want to confirm. No, the first one at a Melrose was the first theft.
Melrose.
Yes, Judge.
It's Melrose.
I believe it's a retail clothing store, so my understanding is.
Are you sure?
Let me double check what that is. Yes, Judge, it's the clothing store.
You see any other prior criminal history?
I see only a previous interference that was dismissed, but nothing else besides that.
What do you think, Mr. D?
I think that I think he would conform to the requirements, Judge. He stated
Then
that.
before,
I understand. He made a mistake there. We all make mistakes in life. He said that he was attending to his ill mother, that even that's not a reason for him not to show up.
I just turned 30.
what do you do with yourself these days?
I'm a farmer in the Virgin Islands. I have a farm. I'm a COO of True Farm Hydroponic Goods. We have a farm in Florida, Palmetto, Florida, and we have a farm in St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands. I'm trying to expand to make a ranch over here in Houston.
Who do you live with now?
My grandmother, she's battling breast cancer.
Here's the thing. If I give you another PR bond, and that's a big if, I don't want you out on the street because I don't know what you're doing with yourself. I don't know who you have in your life now. So the first thing that I would like to know is that if we give you a PR bond, where are you going to go? If it's out on the street, I'm not going to do this again. But what I'd like is to see, if you don't mind, reaching out to maybe any family members to see who he has there to go home. If you have, you said grandma, if you have a place to stay, then great. We can verify that so that we know that you're going to go. And the next thing is, if I give you a PR bond, I'm going to put a monitor on your ankle so I know where you are, because you're a flight risk. You've already proven to us that you're a flight risk. And so I'm concerned if I give you a PR bond, you're going to take off on me again. And I don't want that to happen, because I'm not going to play this game with you. You know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
So,
You already fooled us once. I'm not going to do this again.
yes, sir.
So what I'd like to know is if you have a stable place to stay, and then we'll go from there. So you mind reaching out to see if he has a place to go to? If grandma will take him in, then I will give you one more chance, but it's going to be with a leg monitor so I know where you are. And if I find that you ever go back to a Walmart again, away go all your PR bonds. You know, you now have no one that's going to bond you out. So the next time someone alleges that you commit something and you end up going to jail, you will be stuck like Chuck in there, because no one is going to post your bond. This is what you need to think about when you're out there in the free world. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If I do this, what's going to happen? If I say this, what's going to happen? That's what you need to think about. So let's see what we can do about finding you a place. And then if so, we'll go further. All right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I take care.
Please. Thanks. Deputy, how you going? Deputy Miranda. When someone works in jail, do they get paid? Isn't it true they get like maybe 5 cents per hour or something like that?
Some, they get like more for 3 to 1, depending on, as a worker, they get more time, more pay. So no, instead of sometimes they do 1 to 1, workers don't get 3 to 1. That's their day. That's,
But they don't get like any kind of real money? No real money. It's only you're working for time.
So you work time,
Right.
pretty much 3 to 1.
What I was going to say is you can either get a job in the real world and make real money, or you can work in the jail. Because if you want me to let you out, there's a couple things you need to do. Number one is get a job. Your grandmother is willing to let you stay there, but not indefinitely, because you're not on the lease. So you have a limited amount of time that you can stay there. The other thing that you need to do as part of her condition for you to live with her is you got to get a job. You understand?
Yes, sir.
People who don't have anything can't be picky. So don't be picky where you want to work.
The judge is laying it out plain. No job, no housing, no freedom. And with a GPS ankle monitor on the way, every step this defendant takes will be tracked. This isn't just a second chance, it's the final one.
Any job is a good job, as long as you're making at least minimum wage and it's verifiable employment so that we know it's real. Okay? I'm going to give you another PR bond now, but I'm not going to do this again. If you pick up a third case, I'm going to go absolutely bonkers. You know no one's going to bond you out. So think before you act. You are not allowed to go to any Walmarts. And I'm going to bring you back in 2 weeks to see what you have done to get a job. You must put in at least 10 to 15 applications. It doesn't matter where. Lowe's, Home Depot, McDonald's. Don't be picky. You have to get a job.
Yes, sir.
The other thing is no dope, no alcohol.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to test you. I'm telling you now, I'm going to test you on your release so I know that you're not using.
Yes, sir.
You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Give me questions. Job. Drug and alcohol free, and be nice to your grandmother. Because if she's nice enough to give you a roof over your head, don't bite the hand that feeds you, because then your butt's gonna be on the street. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Anything else, Mr. D?
No, sir, that'll be all.
Okay. You will get a GPS prior to your release so we know where you are. And I want you back here in 2 weeks to show me what you've done to get a job. If you have done nothing, it's not going to go well. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So good luck, Ms. McIntosh.